everyone, I'm Manchara Priya and welcome to the very first episode of the BridgeIt Podcast. So BridgeIt is a community where together we try to bridge the gap between the availability of mental health resources versus the knowledge about them. And the main aim is to reduce the taboo and increase accessibility. So this is the very first episode of the BridgeIt Podcast and we have a very special guest here with us today. We have Shea from Active Minds UCLA. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi guys, I'm Shea. I am here with Active Minds. I'm really excited to be here with Mancha today and talk about all of the resources on campus and
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. So before I start our conversation, I just want to briefly introduce what Active Minds is, and then of course Shea is here to talk more and explain about it more. So Active Minds UCLA, it is a mental health advocacy group dedicated to changing the conversation about mental health and destigmatizing mental illnesses throughout UCLA campus and the greater LA community as well. And they do operate under the USAC Student Wellness Commission and focus on spreading awareness about mental health resources, mental illnesses, and advocating for better mental health care on campus. So they're doing such a great job, and I'm so happy to have you here today. So I think, we can start with just
a little rundown, maybe? So Active Minds, we are a club, a student-run organization. We are the largest chapter of Active Minds in the country. Not to brag, but just just a little statistics. But we do a lot of work in the community and also on campus. We have a bunch of different committees that are devoted to all sorts of a range of different ways and different platforms that we can connect with students and different populations that might be struggling. So we have an events committee. Actually, tonight our events committee is putting on a free concert that highlights student artists who openly talk about their mental health. So they do a lot of cool things like that. And then we also have an outreach committee that tries to share resources with different people within our community, an education committee that's devoted to just educating the student body, and even beyond the student body, just like the campus in general, about mental health what mental health resources are, what mental health is, because people just come from all walks of life, and it's important to get everyone on the same playing field. And then we also have an advocacy committee, which is devoted to advocating for mental health needs and resources for the youth population and the UCLA population in general. They do an annual mental health conference every year, which is actually going to be on May 23rd, I think, this year. So, a lot of cool things. I'm trying to think, which committees have I already talked about? Yes.
Events, education,
advocacy, yes. And then outreach. And then we also have my committee, the radio committee. We do a radio show every week with UCLA Radio as an outside organization show. And that's just kind of we explore different topics of mental health in more creative ways. So last week we talked about pet psychology or animal psychology. This week it's highlighting the events going on this week, so we're going to be doing an episode on music psychology. So all kinds of different things that we get into, so there's really a place for everyone.
That's really cool. And I actually, the first time I met, that's not the first time I met you, but I met the other people in Active Minds was during the Bruin Health Week.
Yes,
and it was the last day, and then they had all of the animals there. They had ducks, they have pig, the donkey,
oh my gosh, yes, Dan and Angel, they do the workshops. The workshops community, I didn't highlight them yet, but they did that a bit.
That's how I got to know about her and the radio committee within Active Minds. So that's really cool. So you talked about you're in the radio committee and she manages the radio every week and a new episode comes out every week, so you should definitely go check that out.
Yes.
And yes, it is the largest chapter. Active Minds UCLA is the largest chapter in the nation. So relating to that, I just have a question. Do you feel that the fact that it's the largest chapter, does that translate to a difference in the reach that the UCLA chapter has in the community versus the other chapters of Active Minds?
I mean, I definitely think we have a pretty large reach. We just did an intercollegiate workshop. That was in collaboration with other Active Minds chapters. I want to say Princeton, just some different Active Minds chapters from around the country. So we are definitely working with other chapters. I think that the work that they're doing is all really important in its own respect. But yeah, I think that we are definitely able to reach a large number of students on campus.
Yeah, that's really cool. So now coming back to the people who might want to be involved in Active Minds, I know you talked about all the various committees and the amazing work all of them are doing. If anyone wants to get involved, do you feel like there's an ideal candidate, or what would you look for in a person who wants to join?
Honestly, I think that anyone would be an ideal candidate. Because really, like, we want to make sure that it's a space for everyone, that everyone can feel safe and comfortable and invited to come to. So we're not looking for anything. There are applications, but they're very low pressure. We just want to know, we want to get a gauge on which committee you might be a best fit for. So really, we invite anyone. Yeah.
So there's no restriction on majors or students or all of that, right?
No, honestly, a lot of people will come in and say I was expecting only psych majors, but we have I feel like there's a large range of students within the club, from econ, neuroscience, psychobio. Yes, you're an econ major too.
Yeah.
So really anything. Yeah.
So I think that's honestly just to say that if you're passionate about advocacy and making mental health accessible and making sure everyone gets the opportunities they deserve, you don't really have to be trained in something, or you don't have to have any specific education. You just have to have the passion of doing something, and that is me as well.
Yes.
So that's great. Thank you so much. Now, I think I want to talk a little bit more about the media aspect. Right now, we're on a audio podcast, and even Active Minds has a lot of different forms of media. I know you have a radio, you have a blog as well, and you're very active on your Instagram, and that is also the primary means of communication and spreading awareness that BridgeIt has. So I just wanted to know that in this day and age, we know that social media is one of the fastest and most engaging way to reach the masses. But at the same time, there are a lot of issues related to social media as well. I mean, it is heavily associated with low self-esteem, anxiety, depression, ADHD, and even insomnia, among other things. So I think I just want to know that how can we as organizations or producers of such content make sure that we produce media in a form that we can mitigate these harmful risks for the consumers or the viewers?
Yeah, that's definitely a fair concern. I think really what I try to do as I'm building my content for the show each week is I try to think about what's gonna appeal to the student, what's gonna appeal to the listener, the one individual out there who might be struggling with whatever I'm talking about this week. So I'll try to keep that in mind, and just try to keep in mind what actually the student is going through. But I mean, I think that social media is definitely a great way for promo, but I mean, we reach out to our active members via email, a bunch of different things as well. So I feel like there's never a moment where you would have to have Instagram to stay in the know about what's going on in our club. You can stay in the know and be updated about what's going on and feel comfortable with all the information that's being shared without actually having to be on social media. So I think that kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility where you don't really need to have it per se.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just trying to be respectful about what the audience might be going through, and kind of making your content around that.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And then coming on to the mental health organization and resources at UCLA, I know we do have a lot of them, and they're doing amazing jobs. However, I think from my personal experience talking to my friends and other peers, I feel a lot of UCLA students might not know most of the resources available, or they might just know about UCLA CAPS or UCLA RISE just as figurehead organizations, and not the work being done by them or the resources they actually have. and or like even the events being hosted by them regularly.
Yes.
Because even now, like the Mental Health Awareness Month has started, and every week all of these organizations are holding amazing events. So a lot of them unfortunately don't know about it. So I think one of my first questions regarding this is, what do you think are some resources UCLA students should absolutely be aware of?
So definitely, I think that this is a great point. I think that a lot of students are just like not even like, I mean, it just gets lost. It gets lost. There's so many great things going on all the time. But definitely, I think a really big thing to be aware about is Be Well Bruin. Be Well Bruin is a website that kind of puts all of the resources together in one place. So it kind of like breaks it down for you a little bit more, and just lets you know like what's available to you, what events might be going on. There's also a calendar within My UCLA that tells you like all the events going on. There's like RISE student calendars. If you go to the RISE Center and you want like, I don't know, say a spring calendar, they have those, I'm pretty sure. They're also online for access. So, I mean, the RISE Center is a big one where they're having events multiple times a day that so many students don't know about. They have this neurodiversity neurodiversity drop-in hours, just regular drop-in hours, talks in your 20s, senior talk. There's all of these like amazing things that they do and that they highlight that I think a lot of students who aren't familiar with RISE even don't know about. And I mean, a lot of students will even come up to me and be like, I don't even know what CAPS is. So, you know, there's a lot. But I would definitely say Be Well Bruin is the place to start when you're trying to break it down.
Yeah, and like I know you talked about RISE. RISE also has a lot of locations. Like
yes, they just opened RISE at Reber.
Yeah, RISE at Reber, at Lowell. So whether you're on the Hill or on campus, and if you need help, there are resources available. So don't be afraid to reach out and to go to them, because trust me, everyone is there to help you. And I think the other question related to this topic was, how do you think we can combat this lack of knowledge? And do you feel, is there anything that organization that UCLA should change or improve to increase accessibility?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things that can be done. It's unfortunately, I think a lot of these things are really, they're slow-moving pieces, but there are a lot of student organizations that are really trying to advocate for the student body right now, I think in terms of mental health. And I think it's important for everyone who's listening even right now to know that, like, if you feel passionate about something and you want to advocate for it, like, there are groups on campus that you can be a part of, and you can find passion in that too. Sorry, I kind of got a little bit off track there. But I think that one of the biggest things that we can do as a student body is just really like show up for ourselves. I think it can easily get really hard in this stressful environment to know. It's easy to know about on paper everything that you can go to, like everything that's available. It's really about implementing that I think that if we together, like if we can help each other start doing that, if we can take kind of like the stigma out of, going and like, admitting that you're in crisis or admitting that you need help or admitting that you're not doing well, if we can kind of like shift away from that culture and like shift to a culture of support, I think that would really go a long way, yeah.
Yeah, and that's really good. I feel I truly believe in that, because the first step is admitting that you need help, and that comes with so much fear of judgment and feeling that others might not understand you. And in this regard, I think I really want to talk about a particular resource that UCLA offers. It's called Togetherall. It is a free anonymous mental health platform that you can go to and talk to trained people anonymously. So I think if you have this fear, because I have that too, because I don't want people to know that I'm suffering because I don't know what they'll think. So if you feel that you need help and you're not ready to come up and personally face people or ask for help, I feel Togetherall is definitely a great starting point, because it is a free resource for UCLA students.
Yes. Togetherall is a great resource, and honestly, like going back to Be Well Bruin, look on Be Well Bruin too. There are so many different apps, Saluna, Calm, Headspace, the UCLA Mindful app. There are so many apps and resources online that are focused on different kinds of things that are available to students.
Yeah, wait, that's really good. Thank you so much for making everyone and making me aware of all of this as well. And I think I also want to talk about the upcoming Active Minds events that are happening. So I know that, you said that there was a concert today.
Yes.
That's happening. And that is Music in
Mind.
Yeah,
Yes,
Music in Mind, right? Yeah,
yes.
So cool. And then you also had Zeinfest on May 4th, right?
Yes, I am not super. I'm not super well versed on Zeinfest. I think, but I am definitely well versed on Music in Mind.
I think from these events, what I feel is there are a lot related to art and creativity and just giving a creative outlet to everyone. So I think my next question is just, what do you think is the connection between art forms like music and others, and also having a creative outlet to just general mental well-being?
Honestly, I love this question. And I'll be talking about it on my radio show this week too, in connection with Music in Mind. But I mean, this is the part that people don't realize. I think a lot of people miss about neuropsychology is just like the neurochemistry that goes into your mental well-being. And with things like music and art forms and different forms of creativity, I mean, you are like it's signaling chemicals in your brain to actually, I'm trying to think of a way to like word this, but say for example, like you're listening to music. Some forms of music can actually boost your dopamine or boost whatever. So yeah, it's just kind of cool things like that, where it's like you might not even realize that it is helping you, but it's working on like in ways that you don't even notice. But I think in other senses too, I'm just tapping into, I think, your passion and your creative side, your artistic side. Because I used to be a person who would walk around and be like, I'm not creative, I'm not artistic, I don't. And now I would definitely not agree with that. I think it's a great kind of, I don't know, a great form, a great outlet for people who are not really sure how to word how they're feeling.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And you're also going to talk about this in this week's podcast.
Yes, I am.
That's really cool. You should go check that out if that is something that interests you. So now coming back to the Bruin Health Week again, I know it's been a while since that happened, but I just want to know what your favorite moments from it were.
I think I really liked the wellness lounge that our events committee put on. It was an outdoor space that students could come to, and there were animals there. Different ways that they connect with the environment and with the resources on campus.
Hey, that's really cool. And one last event I want to touch on is the annual Mental Health Conference that will be hosted on May 23rd. From 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., right? And it's your annual event, and it's a really big event, right?
And especially this year. This year it'll be really big.
Wait, that's really cool. I would love to attend that. Like, I'm going to be there. But I think I just want to know what your goals are with the event, like goals, aspirations, and who would you want to reach with this conference? Like, what would the ideal conference be like?
So definitely, I think we are trying to reach everyone. I think, again, like I said, we wanted to make it feel a space like anyone could come to. Everyone is invited, but especially students who maybe like they don't feel like they really like they have maybe figured out quite where their place is on campus, or students who they're not sure if they should come, or if they like it'll be okay. They might be like anxious to come. I encourage those students to come, because I think it's doing these initial things that really start to put the pieces in place when you're reaching out for mental health care. But there will be so many different workshops, speakers, panelists, just different things going on there that day, and so many different people that you can meet. So if you are in a place of struggle, it is, a great place to start.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, talking about it makes me excited.
Yes.
And, knowing that there are going to be so many resources and so much I can listen to and absorb, I feel is a great thing to be at. So I feel that everyone should attend. And yeah, I think with this we come close to the end of this nice, short and sweet podcast. And in the spirit of Mental Health Awareness Month, I think I just want to ask one closing question, that if you could give the listeners just one thing to take away from the podcast, or just one advice related to anything mental health related or related to mental well-being, what would that be?
I think it would be to let yourself feel the feelings that you're feeling. Don't try to hold it all in. There are people who want to help you. Nobody wants to see you hurt. There are people who will help you. I know it can seem diluted. It can seem hard. I think especially for me as somebody who struggles, with my mental health, I struggle with ADHD. It's very hard for me. It was hard for me to initiate that help just because, that's a big problem with people who have ADHD. It's really hard to even initiate it. But CAPS, a lot of students won't reach out to CAPS because they're scared of long wait times or whatever. I want to encourage everyone to remember that is a large resource available to you and that you can call. I think there's a list of hours on the website from 9 to 3 or something on weekdays, but you can call and you can get a same day consultation to try to get help.
They also have hotline numbers.
Yes.
A lot of hotline numbers are also available for immediate help that you might need, and a lot of them are 24-hour hotlines.
Yes.
So, yeah, thank you so much for being vulnerable here and making it a safe space for everyone and talking a bit about your experience as well. I hope that motivates someone else, and even if it motivates one person to seek help, I feel that will be a goal reached for me.
Thank you so much for giving me the platform to speak about it, and thank you so much for the work that you're doing to try to get everyone on the same page. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So, with that, we come to the end of our very first episode. A big thank you to Shea and also to Active Minds UCLA for coming and talking to me and just being so open. And to everyone else, thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on the BridgeIt Instagram or the BridgeIt Gmail, and also to Active Minds for any questions you have for them, and go check out their weekly podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to see you again.
Bye.